Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We've got a podcast for you today. Zin and I are doing a podcast. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
I'm BoredGamer. We're talking about Star Citizen. Let's start with what happened on the weekend, which was the Daymar Rally, Zin. It was a race they do every year. Biggest community event, I believe.
Yeah.
And hundreds and hundreds of people racing in cars of various types and forms. Lots of them in the Spartan.
Don't they have different
They do.
What's
Classes.
The word? Classes, yes.
Yes. So there's different races for different sort of classes of vehicle. Lots of people driving around in Spartans and things, but I thought was really cool with the truck stuff. And there was a couple of hours of preamble and sort of like warm up for the show on the Atmo Esports Twitch channel, and then there was about 8 hours of rally driving, which is a long time, I'll tell you that. So 510 kilometers of ground to cover for the Daymar Rally. It's a cool little social event just to sort of turn up and watch it throughout the day and see the commentary and people chat about Star Citizen, people coming together. And it is a marvel of things that people will do for emergent gameplay and messing around in an alpha game. What do you see, like things like Daymar Rally, Zin? How do you see them? Do you go like, that's just a cool thing that people are doing? Or do you go, why would you do this? Why would you spend 8 hours of your day driving around in an alpha game for little reward?
No, I look at it and I'm pretty impressed. I think that's pretty cool what they do, and that so many people are wanting to do that.
Yeah, I do think that a lot of people, especially the sort of people that win or do something silly during the Daymar Rally, they do live in memory for a long time as part of Star Citizen's history as well. I just think it's cool that people can do such a large event, and it's grown to such a big level now for an alpha game as a community event. I just think, yeah, it's a cool little thing. You can go watch that on Twitch if you want. The VODs are there. Or you can probably wait until someone does some highlights of it, which I suspect will be coming out shortly. Not me, though. God. It's just a load of cars in sand for me. I do like the Daymar Rally, but yeah, I see it more as a social experience. Zin.
Yes.
3.17.5's out.
Yes.
It's on live. It's a live patch. Oh, secret live patch, 3.17.5. And we've got the, what do you call it? The Red Festival or Lunar New Year? Yudra Hrusta.
I'd say Lunar New Year.
Yeah? Well, it's both! You're wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, so in-game 2953, it's the Year of the Rooster, which is obviously markedly different from the Year of the Rabbit that it is in real life. But that event's going on now. It is... there's some big old wooden roosters that you can get from the website.
Why didn't you say wooden cocks?
Because we'd have to bleep that, Zin. Because of YouTube's new rules.
But I'm talking about male chickens.
You're talking about roosters.
They're
Big,
not called cocks.
hard wooden roosters. No, you can't. It's not a pun if you're deliberate about it, is it? You're going to have to go through and bleep that. And if this gets demonetized, that's going out your wages. You know that. So yeah, you can pick up some wooden flair. Now I have to be cagey. These roosters aren't caged, to tell you that. You get these 3 little statues, big old statues. And you can also, if you just log into the game during the Lunar New Year event, then you also get a flare envelope of the rooster and of any previous year that you had turned up in. But you can also just walk around the game, find some envelopes, and sell them as well for some Alpha UEC. There's a ship sale going on. Any excuse for a ship sale. Ships considered prosperous or red are on sale. But there's also loads more ships on sale because the Siege of Orison's also going on until the 30th of January.
Ah, shit.
I know, right? So, yeah, actually quite a large ship sales currently on for a massive range of combat ships. It's almost exclusively flyable ships. Are you aware of the ship that is on sale currently that CIG have announced that is just on concept sale? They've sort of, it's on concept sale again. Can you guess what ship it is, Zin? Do you know what
Is it
ship
the Misk C?
It is. It's the Hull C, yes.
Hull C, that's the one.
No, that was close enough. At least you're not referring to a Cutlass as a Drake, like you did when you first started. So, yeah, the Hull C. It's going to be apparently the last time you can purchase it at its current price point, which is like, I think it's from $325, which is ridiculously expensive, and something I would advise getting in game. But it looks like the Hull C will be available within the next 3 to 6 months, the next quarter or two. A lot of us have wanted the Hull C in game for a long time. Obviously, the cargo refactor makes it more viable. Their work on sort of ship tractor beams as well makes it more viable, and the large cargo containers that they want to put in the game. And that's it's cargo gameplay, cargo hauling. That is getting a lot more work this year, it seems. We will know a lot more and sort of the 8th of February. Zina, this is something I want to ask you. What do you think, because you've only experienced this a couple of times, really, what do you think of the sort of content drought from when CIG go on holiday in December to when they come back and get started properly in January? Do you think that that's appropriate from them? Like, yes, they need a holiday. Do you think they should have a skeleton content team actually still producing content?
I think that the lack of content is just stuff that we get shown. I'm sure they're still, because they sort of take this time of year to work out what's happening for the rest of the year, don't they?
They do scheduling.
They basically, they plan things. Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, it's annoying. We have to scramble for information and stuff, but...
See, I'm not a fan of them having a hiatus from Inside Star Citizen anyway, and the additional time that they sort of have as a hiatus, as a time off period from having Inside Star Citizen and Star Citizen Live and the normal posts just all together is just a bit, I don't know, it feels a bit empty for me, because I've obviously consuming Star Citizen content on such a regular basis that when none of it's there, or very little of it's there, I don't know what to do with myself. And because I was also waiting on 3.18 to be more playable, I think that sort of contributed to the sense of, well, I'm waiting on stuff and there's not much I can do. That said, there has been events, there has been lots of 3.18 testy stuff to be done this time. So that's been good with Xeno Threat and the Siege of Orison and 3.17.5 now. It's just, I wish they'd filled the gap a bit better, but as Sin says, she doesn't seem to mind as much, or at least sees reasons for it. I'm a little bit more sort of like, but give me more. So yeah, Ship Sail, 3.17.5, Siege of Orison's running as well. Lunar New Year, get involved with that. It's all cool little things. So we were supposed to be having the Jumptown 2.1 event, which we'll be getting involved with once 3.18's gone live. So that's just all the sort of Jumptown areas have doubled in size. There's 2 dispensaries there. It's a much bigger event now, much larger structure. So I think that's going to be pretty cool and interesting. And Xeno Threat is absolutely superb in 3.18. The additions of the persistent entity streaming, cargo refactor, soft destruction system, salvage has made that event a lot more chaotic and interesting. So yeah, let's actually move on to 3.18 things now. Ballistics and armor changes. This is what I wanted to talk to you about because it's a hot topic at the moment. So Cloud Imperium put up a little post. Actually, let's go all the way back to the beginning. Ooh. So in 3.18, they went, ballistic projectiles, they are going to penetrate almost entirely through shields now. So shields stop very little of the damage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that meant that, especially with larger ships, they were getting absolutely annihilated by ballistics. So larger ships, ballistics aren't missing because they're big, boom, just rip apart larger ships very easily. And smaller ships as well, if you're accurate, boom, you just annihilate a smaller ship. So fantastic for PvP, and that's very powerful, obviously very limited ammo, but if you can just annihilate certain targets very easily, is that really what they want? So they have then gone, we're going to have a straight 50% resistance to ballistic damage on ship's armor. Yeah?
Okay.
So in 3.18, this is a temporary measure because that's a ridiculous thing. Because they've just gone, all ships have 50% resistance. That's not how it should work, right?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah, you want to have smaller ships, or at least in my opinion, light ships. Light fighters and stuff have very little resistance. Larger ships and more heavily armoured ships have a lot more resistance to ballistics. It sort of makes sense. And for that resistance to not be a straight resistance, sort of prevention, but it'll be sort of like, it actually mitigates 3 damage from each hit. So lots of little light bullets on heavy armor would do nothing, or very little, whereas a big shot would smash through armor, is the sort of idea. Now, Cloud Imperium have sort of said something else. So some people have gone through the 3.18 XML files and the database stuff to see what ships have what resistance to what, and all the ships appear to have different resistance levels, so not a straight 50% in 3.18. But things like the Hercules, the A2 and things like that should have a load of resistance to ballistics, have like 10 or 15%, or some of them have 0% resistance. So projectiles just smash them a bit still. And the Drake ships have 58% resistance. So the Drake ships have a huge amount of resistance. Now, I'm hoping that that's just a mistake.
Do you think someone fluffed some numbers somewhere?
It's possible that they're just still going through them, or they made some sweeping database changes and some of them got left behind somehow. Yeah, it's got to be, because that doesn't make any sense to me. Especially Drake being assumedly have as some of the least armored ships, right? Like, they're on paper, they're cheap and no frills. In fact, some of them appear to be armoured by the components being on, like, the outside. Sort of like, you have to just hope they don't get hit. What I do think is good here is that they might be individually balancing armour between ships rather than the straight 50% resistance. It looks like they are going through them all or looking through them all, so they can balance them individually. But in theory, do you like the idea of these sort of armour changes to balance ballistics in the short term? What do you think Cloud Imperium should do?
Oh, I don't know.
But that's a fair answer as well.
I like ballistics. I like guns that go brrr.
Yep.
So more stronger ballistics is always good, whether intentional or not.
So what about at the suffering of the amount of ammo you get? So obviously we don't get much ammo at the moment with ballistics. And do you think that's fair? That's an actual good balance? Or do you think, well, actually I do want a few more bullets, even if it does reduce the sort of damage?
No, I think if the damage is going to be high, then the amount of bullets you can carry has got to be low.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe it depends on the ship. If it's like a hit and run ship, then yeah, I think it's fine. Okay.
See, my worry is that running ballistic builds makes most ships that run full ballistic builds hit and run ships.
Yeah.
Because they can't fight for a long period of time. And at the moment in Star Citizen, obviously we've just got one star system and engagements are actually quite short and quantum traveling short. But when you have to be operating from a carrier, because you're a fighter, if you're in Pyro or whatever, you want to operate from a carrier because otherwise you can't do much. That's going to be a bit different, because then you go to rearm, repair, refuel every so often, and maybe running energy builds is more viable to stay out longer and to be cheaper. I do think that this is a critical stage for where do Cloud Imperium go to balance in the short term, because it will affect their long-term plans. That's what I wanted to sort of talk about, just sort of bring that to people's attention, that there is discussions about ballistics and armor changes ongoing, and Cloud Imperium do appear to be changing them for 3.18 as at least a temporary measure, until we have physical armor, physical components, resource management systems, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think 50% straight up resistance was silly, and obviously some of the numbers are currently fluffed. Sin.
Yeah.
Seeing you seem to know so much.
No.
Where is Alpha 3.18? You knew it wasn't going to be out by the end of the year. How did you know that? And
because I'm a cynical old person.
Is it going to be out to live by the end of January, Sin? Tell us now.
No.
No, don't say that, because you're normally right.
It's still wave 1 PTU.
Oh, yeah, but I live in hope.
So this was always going to be the longest PTU build.
Yeah.
Because they're having to test so much.
Yeah, especially persistent entity streaming.
I am shocked that it's been in PTU for so long.
Wave 1 PTU, oddly, as well.
But it is in a terrible state.
What do you mean? It's not that bad. Especially now, over the weekend, the Y and Z patches fixed a load of bugs.
Well, the Y had an issue where you wouldn't respawn.
Oh, yeah.
And they did say that. They said if it's really bad, we will roll it back. But obviously they've just come out with Z.
Z largely fixed that. But yeah, that is fair. So Zin at the moment's trying to get footage for a 3.18 Start Here Star Citizen tutorial that we typically do with some of the major builds. And we like to get a load of the footage for that before the patch goes live, or when it's in sort of open PTU, so we can get a Start Here Star Citizen guide out for everyone around then. But that does mean that we're recording in early PTU builds for some of the footage or most of the footage, and that can be, painful sometimes.
Oh, so painful.
But we do it for the greater good. We do it for you, the people that might watch our videos. But yeah, so Zin thinks it's not going to be live by the end of the month. When do you think it's going to be live currently by your estimate?
August.
I agree with you. It will definitely be live by August.
Are
you thinking mid-February?
Maybe mid-Feb. Like, I don't know anymore. I really don't know anymore.
Oh no, so no, that's the most accurate statement anyone's said about Star Citizen timings. I just don't know. Fair. I'm still hoping. I'm holding out for an end of January. End of January libraries. Come on, CIG. Prove Zin wrong. Prove me right for a time once.
I mean, you've got a week.
They can do it. We get open PTU out later today. Bam! Easy. And then just power through to live. Easy game.
What are the current known issues?
Not very many now. It's all about the problem is all the ones they don't know about.
Well, the real problem ones are things like, once a mission has been completed at the settlement, the AI will not respawn for the next mission. So missions are becoming pointless.
Well, they're not. You still get points for them because when you turn up to those missions it instantly completes for the second person. So they're getting points. It's just, they're not actually getting gameplay. I've
been trying to do bounty hunting missions to get footage, and the ships just haven't been fighting back.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the AI becoming dum-dums, that's typically still due to low tick rates and server degradation, as far as I'm aware. Because in some servers, they work fine. Are they still flying around, or are they stopping moving?
Bit of both. Sometimes they just won't move. Sometimes they will very slowly fly around. They're not trying to avoid me at all.
Yeah.
Though they're just flying, sort of ambling around.
So I think the jittery elevators and trams, that is for me a major blocker because it breaks sort of immersion and it makes me feel uncomfortable.
At least they're not drifting off into the distance anymore.
Yeah, they would just sort of drift around through like terrain and stuff, and then you be at your location. You're like, do I get out? But as much as I'm sort of laughing about this, a lot of the problems are now solved. There's like 14 or so known issues now, down from like 3 dozen or whatever they plow through, or at least a couple of dozen. So, and there's not that many hugely major blockers. There's like 3 or 4 big ones that they need to get, like with the elevators and the tram stuff. There's some inventory issues as well that they want to get, and yes, there's AI accessibility problems with the AI not sort of spawning properly. See, I haven't experienced much of the AI not firing, but I haven't been playing in the same builds as you have often, or when I play, it's very early in the morning.
Well, to be fair, I've been playing on the US servers because I find that they're more stable than the EU ones.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that, oddly. I'm not sure if that's still the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was a weird one. Cloud Imperium do seem to have kept 3.18 in Wave 1 PTU for a very long time, even though I thought they could have at least gone Wave 2 or even Open PTU. Okay, but maybe it's just that some of those egregious blockers would have just made people smash their heads against the table.
Yeah, the thing that annoys me is you get people playing the PTU. Bear in mind that even the live servers are still technically not complete.
They're very much alpha.
Yeah, but you get people playing on the PTU and then they're complaining about these bugs. And it's like, well, what did you expect? It's the PTU. It's literally there to bust the bugs. That's why it's here. It's not a stable build. It's not complete. That's why it's not been released to live.
I want people to know that Evocati is not glamorous, or it is hellish sometimes. Evocati builds, it's sort of like it's not a privilege. It is a job. For people that do it well anyway. I just sort of turn up and have a look and go, whoop, I'm done. I'll see you later, guys.
Yeah. I mean, when you've got the PTU in a state like it is now, I can completely see why they're very picky about who becomes Evocati.
Yes. But you can also see that so it's important with 3.18 that when it goes live, that it's not a step backwards for accessibility to the game. They can't leave a giant bug in there. They can't leave it sort of like going, you can't complete half the missions, you can't spawn your ships. If you go a step back in the game's playability, then what's the point of having the live builds in the first place? Hopefully we'll have 3.18 by the end of the month. But Zin, I would say that she's probably smarter than me.
More realistic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe. I'm more hype and live on hope. And Zin, she's just, devoid of fun.
Thanks.
No worries. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And if you've got any specifics of content you want us to cover for 3.18 when it goes open PTU and live, chuck it in the comments below. Tell us what you think of the Lunar New Year. And are you picking up any of those big old roosters? Picking up any other ships? Are you getting involved with the Siege of Orison? Have you been playing in 3.18 Wave 1 PTU? And what do you think of that? And yeah, thanks for watching. See you later. It's a new year, time for resolutions, a brighter future. I'll make myself better each day. Or I could just stay at home and play computer games. But what if someone steals my house or bank while I'm otherwise preoccupied on the internet? NordVPN.com/BoredGamer. It's probably the best VPN deal of 2023 already. Not only does it provide security, anonymity, and accessibility on the interwebs, but I haven't heard of anyone with NordVPN having their house stolen. Thanks, NordVPN. Now no one will know what type of degenerate anime I watch. Get NordVPN, you filthy animal. You deserve it. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For January, we are giving away an Argo Raft, the reinforced advanced freight transport ship. A dedicated cargo hauler that should see some additional gameplay in 2023. This also comes with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, then please consider becoming a YouTube member with the join button under my videos. You could even become a Patreon. There's links below to that. But liking, subscribing, commenting goes a huge way to help the channel grow. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.